right.
Hey.
Hey. Here we are. Back. This is podcast number 24.
Excellent. Wow, time flies, right?
Oh, man.
It's so good.
Sometimes I wish time would just slow down a little bit.
We all do.
I guess it's not really about the time that's going by. It's what we're doing with it.
That's right. The quality. Yeah. That kind of ties in what we want to talk about, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Talk about resetting, because sometimes you just kind of get sidetracked, get off track.
Get derailed.
Backtracking.
That's right. So, how we get back on track with our goals, right?
Right.
Set. Yeah, when we get off. And happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Is that true? I mean,
well, particularly, like we've had so many things just come and just, impact our lives so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, like you get into a regular routine and you're moving along and you're making progress, and then bam,
working out every day.
Yeah, you're working out every day, you're eating right, you're losing weight, you're doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, life's going on, and next thing you know, there was an emergency situation at the same time we were getting ready with a family member, and at the same time we were getting ready to go on vacation.
Yeah.
And we had just gotten a new dog.
Which is crazy, right?
All at the same time.
I know.
Like we got a new dog, and then 3 days later we're going on vacation for 2 days.
Who does that?
And trying to set up for, a pet hotel.
Yeah.
And then we get a phone call just before we're getting ready to leave on vacation. There was like a family emergency situation going on where, could have been a premature birthing.
Yeah, we're like, meet us there and take care of the other child.
What should we do?
Yeah.
Should we not go on this vacation? Should we be here? Do you need us here?
Yeah, exactly.
So, what do you do when you get sidetracked? And then, all of that creates this situation where you're under a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we've talked about before is that from what we've heard from Dr. Dyer is that when you squeeze an orange, and it doesn't matter what time of the day or what instrument you use, or no matter
how you squeeze it,
what's going to come out of that orange?
Orange juice.
Right. Well, you apply a little pressure to your life, and what's going to end up coming out of you, right?
Yeah. What is the stress going to do to your reaction to each other and life? And
and so
plans,
and then the interactions with one another and stuff like so. We've been dealing with a lot here in the last
10 days.
10 days now.
Yeah, about 10 days.
So how are we doing? Where are we
at? Well, I know our workouts haven't been working as well.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we haven't been to the gym.
That's true.
In like 10 days.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
That's like a lot.
Like we made this commitment, we were going to be going to the gym every day. We were
like 6 days a week.
Yeah, we were like banging it out. We were banging it out 6 days a week, and it is
progress.
Yeah, it still shows. I mean, I feel good though. One thing that I can say is like I got on the scale this morning, and I looked, and it was 169.8. I was like, ooh, that's good,
you're still doing good, right? Yeah.
I'm still, I've lost 12 pounds. From the 182, and I've lost 32 pounds overall since a little over a year ago. So, and you're making progress. I know that you've been losing weight, and it's not coming off as quickly as you'd like.
Never comes off as quickly for women as for men.
Yeah.
It seems like.
And I think I'm punishing my body a little bit too harshly sometimes, because like I'm probably not eating as well as I should. Like I've been doing quite a bit of intermittent fasting, because like I'll go most of the day and not eat anything.
I don't know how you do that all day.
And I'm working really hard. I mean, physical work out there, doing that, and then so I think that's probably contributed. Plus, it's tiring, but now we're back in a place where we're taking a look and seeing that we still have some other things coming up.
We have some goals too.
Yeah, but we have goals we want to meet, but we also have some other pressure-related life situations that are going to be coming our way.
See the wave rolling in.
Yeah. See it. What does Dr. Dyer talk about?
Yeah, you keep saying Dr. Dyer, so we should just tell them what that is in case they don't know. Dr. Wayne Dyer,
Dr. Wayne Dyer,
who wrote Your Erroneous Zones and lots of other books, and he's deceased now, but he's all over YouTube and such places, and his books are online. We like Audible to listen to him, and he's very inspiring and very helpful. Mindset, and meditations to so many things. I mean, he's a really amazing guy. Or was, yeah.
Well, still is.
That's right. Nobody really needs.
That's right. I mean, it's just the same as this. What we're doing here will just continue after we're gone.
That's right. Yeah.
And it'll be out there. It'll be on the internet, and people can listen to it.
It's our legacy.
Yes, in a way.
That's true. Yeah. I often think about that though. You're right, because I thought, well, it's not going to happen, but if I was to get hit by a truck tomorrow or something, at least Gracie has a ton of videos to watch.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, right? I mean, there's so much. We've got a whole drive full of videos online. It's just all kinds of
Unlike, our ancestors, right? I mean, I have very little memory of my grandmother. I have a couple of photographs. I don't have any video of her or anything, right? I mean, so it's a different era that we live in for sure. But that's why people have to be careful too, because everything they say can and will be recorded for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, I think we got a little derailed with all these things happening as far as, like you said, not working out, not going to the gym, and and not forgetting about our goals, but just letting them kind of get put to the side. And now I want to say, okay, let's get back on track, at least for myself, because I still am down from what I was. I lost 12 pounds
That's fantastic.
or whatever, and I'm still like, maybe 9 of them or something are gone still, but I also know I haven't worked out, right, and I have been on vacation, so I'm not real concerned about that. I'll drop that back off, but and I've been walking with the dog, 5 or 6 miles a day, making sure I'm getting that going, because she's a puppy and she needs the exercise, and that's something. But I do feel different because I haven't been doing our bench press, which I have goals for, and pull-ups, and then not stretching, which I tell you guys all the time to stretch, right? And I'm not doing it myself.
It's so weird though, because I can think back to when it was day 1 where you didn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
And it was day 2.
Yeah, it's like, I missed the gym.
Day 3. And then, as time goes on, it gets
harder.
easier and easier not to do. And it's, what is that saying? It's just as easy to do or just as easy not to do?
Simple to do, simple not to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what's easy to do is just as easy not to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So.
And then it becomes inversely
a routine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It becomes like it's easy to not go anymore now. And it's hard to go.
And then it becomes harder to try to get back, on track with making that a part of your regular routine, because now you've become accustomed to it not becoming a part of your regular routine. Yeah, exactly. You got to get within just a short period of time.
I know. Yeah. Can you imagine people that haven't worked out for a year or 2 years or whatever, right? I mean, it becomes so hard to get back. And I love
years, right?
Yeah. Well, I love working out, so I don't feel like it's going to be hard to go back to the gym. I'm looking forward to it. It's just now I'm thinking about, I really don't have time today. Probably not sure about tomorrow, but Thursday I'm going. It's like, so I know that. You know what I mean? But I think people have to schedule it. Just put it on your schedule that I'm going, and pick the day where you're going to start, or today if you can, and then do something towards it. So if you make that decision, I'm going back, right away take action by putting it on a schedule, getting your sneakers out of the closet if you haven't looked at them all the time, whatever it is, do something towards that commitment. If you can go to the gym, just go now, or whatever, right? I mean, or, get down on the floor and do 10 push-ups. Right. Do something towards that goal so that you get that momentum going, because momentum can be negative, like you said. It's easy not to do it now. It's momentum's keeping us away from the gym. Or momentum could be positive, so now I'm going to do something to go back, to the gym, that kind of thing, because, I saw the progress I was making, and, and I want to keep going. I want to be more progress. So you got to tell yourself why you're doing it.
Yeah, sometimes it's a real struggle to break down the kind of thinking that's going on in your mind, to really envision what it is that you're wanting to accomplish, and you just know that you don't feel right, but one of the things I noticed that you put down there is you got to be specific. So, so if you're in a place where I guess you're not feeling right, and you know that something's got to change, try to kind of really pinpoint what is that, that needs to change.
Well, it's like saying I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to go back to the gym. Well, be specific. Don't say yes. Say I'm going to go back to the gym 3 times this week, or I'm going to lose 20 pounds by 2 months, or whatever it is that you want to do. Get specific with those goals. And I think we should talk about those strategies a little bit more after.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Right back. All right, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, excellent.
So that's good. So we just kind of put out a bunch of stuff about why
life derails you.
Now what do we do, right?
Yeah. And everybody has that. Maybe that's universal. Yeah. Everybody has stuff come up. Life gets in the way of your plans. Isn't that the old joke? Is like how to make God laugh? Tell him your plans. Right.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So true. So if you remember why you want something, right? That's what I was saying. Is that you said like be specific, right? So remember exactly why you're doing it. Why you're going to go back to the gym? Because I want to lose 20 pounds in 3 months or whatever it is. Whatever your goal is, write it down. Be specific. Because if you don't have that map, how are you going to get there? You know what I mean? Yeah. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to know if you can get there? You can't just say, "Oh, I want to start working out." Well, why? You got to be specific. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to build muscle. I'm trying to look good for an event. Maybe you have your grandchild on the way. Maybe you have a wedding on the way. My nephew's going to get married. Maybe the summer's coming and you want to look better. Maybe you want to look good for Christmas parties. I mean, whatever it is, right? Am I supposed to say Christmas or should I be saying holiday party? Right? Mm-hmm. Nowadays it's so PC. But you have reasons why you want something. Maybe you're not admitting it to yourself, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you had said you wanted to look like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
I do too. No, you look great already. But I mean, whatever your goal is, I mean, if you don't define it, I don't think you can get there, right? Mm-hmm. And then, be specific about it. And then, once you know what you want, you could break it down into steps easier, And I think that's so important because you have to track it. The more you measure something, the better it can get, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't weigh yourself, you have no idea where you're at.
Well, and you bring up a good point about measuring, and I think that's another thing that we've learned from listening to somebody who else is really important. It's Uncle G. Uncle Grant Cardone, and he talks about 10xing whatever it is what is your goal, and so don't make your don't be like, oh, I want to lose 5 pounds.
Yeah, don't make it right? Too easy.
I mean, unless that's all you need to lose, of course, that I didn't need to lose that much. 10 pounds was what I set my goal to do, and I've done actually more than that, more than that. So. Actually, I guess I didn't set my goal high enough.
Or maybe you need to change your goal not to achieve it, and now I want to build some muscle or whatever. You know what I mean? Right. So there's always another goal.
Yeah, there is.
But if you start too small, you'll stop yourself. Yeah, right? You'll stop yourself.
Yeah, or you won't push yourself hard enough.
Yeah.
To reach that goal.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to measure the results as well.
Yeah. So. But also, if it's too low, too small of a goal. Once you get there, you may be on that momentum, and then you may stop and say, "Oh, I achieved it. Now I want to sit back and relax."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, well, there's your momentum gone.
And I wonder if that's partly what happened here in this instance with me. I didn't push myself to keep going to the gym every day. I was like, oh, I lost my,
I
lost like 12 pounds, man. I'm doing good. I look good.
Like
man. I guess I can just maintain this, right?
Yeah, well, you got to maintain though too. I mean, you can't not work out and maintain. Right. But that's what Tony Robbins says too, is that once you get close to a goal, even before you achieve it, if you know you're about to achieve it or whatever, you should have another goal waiting because otherwise you lose that momentum, right? I mean, it's like with our podcast, we wanted to be monetized, right? And now we are, but now we have to set a goal of what amount we want to make or whatever, that kind of thing. So I think you always have some kind of goal and then the next level and, progress it out. And it's not always easy to do those kind of things, especially in a fitness journey because, 5 pounds, or what does that look like? Or inches, or total. So it's hard to break it down sometimes.
Well, kind of like one of the things that I'm really, kind of wondering about is this whole idea of what is that called with um, the fat? What is that? The fat ratio. What's that called?
Oh, okay. Your body composition.
Body composition.
Yeah.
So what is it? How do you?
Well, body composition is like how much lean mass you have, and how much fat mass you have.
Okay.
And there's certain fat that you're going to have more as you get a little bit older. Your body tends to hold on to a little fat around your organs. Right. But there's like visceral fat, which is like the bad fat around your heart and such that can be really dangerous. Yeah. And that kind of thing. It's like they say, some people are like, they hold their fat around their abdomen, which a lot of people do, and that's the unhealthiest, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's close to the heart and everything. If you hold your weight closer to like your hips and stuff, you're a little healthier. Mm-hmm. Some people. So and nowadays it's kind of like in to have a big butt anyway or whatever. Yeah. Okay. A big J-Lo and stuff. But I mean, there is certain fat that's worse than others, and overall lower body fat is healthier, right? I mean, an athlete and guys can have less than women anyway because you're lucky that way you don't have mammary glands. Right. But but body fat composition is important because that's one of your health parameters. Mm-hmm. How much body fat you have, and you can be like, I forget the term. It's like tofu or tofu. It's like thin on the outside but fat on the inside. Mm. It's like you look like you're small and you're thin, but you actually have a lot of fat. Right. Where it's dangerous with the visceral fats and such. Wow. Which I've seen in the gym and stuff too. And I've also seen people that look thin, but their cardiovascular health is awful. It's like they can't, run 10 feet without being out of breath. Oh. You know what I mean? And things like that. Or they have super weak, or they have really bad posture. There's a lot of levels to fitness. Yeah, so I mean, wherever you're at, start envisioning where you want to be, and be specific, and realize that there's some other steps you can take to make those goals a reality too. Sure. Yeah. I know you had talked about scheduling it. Mm-hmm. So, very important. Yeah. Journaling your journey. Yeah. Make it real. Make it a part of your life. Yeah. That way. Being accountable to somebody. Oh, that's huge, right? I mean, it's like that's what drives me somewhat is that we hold each other accountable somewhat, right? Yeah. Unless we're both failing. But I mean, if you have an accountability partner, then you can both like pull each other towards your goals, right? Or you get to answer somebody. Now, a lot of times it's not best to have your loved one because we're more likely to do something for a stranger a lot of times than we are for ourselves. And that's why being a personal trainer, or being a fitness coach or whatever, is so powerful because if people have to answer to me, they're more likely to do it, which is weird, right? Then you think you'd want to do it for yourself or whatever, but you're more likely to want to. Oh, I gotta face her tomorrow, so I gotta, whatever. So that's why we're available that way too, right? People can have us as their accountability partner or coach by calling us and setting it up at a really low rate, right, to get that going. But there's lots of ways to do that, right? Well, sometimes isn't that about like that comes down to something about what our belief is. I mean, if we don't have enough belief in ourselves to get us to where we want to be, but we have enough faith and belief in somebody else to help us get sometimes, to where we want to be. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, that's that whole thing. Are you self-motivated, right? Or you need to have somebody, motivating you, or or do you not have a strong enough vision? But the goal, even in coaching, is to get people to be able to get there through realizing what's inside them is going to actually take them the rest of the way. I mean, the coaching is there to get you going, but once you're on that path, you're gonna be the one running the race. Right? Well, that's true. I mean, we're all ultimately responsible for ourselves, right? But I mean, like what Tony Robbins does at his events when he has the fire walking events and stuff, he pairs you with somebody you don't know, and you psych each other up, and you do it for that person more than you would do it for yourself, right? So because somebody's counting on you. and we got to do it together, and that's the kind of thing.
They're counting on you to lead the way.
Yeah, and you're counting on them to not let you back out.
Right.
So sometimes you need that. I mean, if you're not, I mean, it's great if you could be totally self-motivated, but how many people are out there that, need a little push, right? I mean, we all do, I think, right? I mean,
well, I listen to stuff all the time that helps push me forward.